Hi, students. I am here in your time zone. I spent a day traveling to New York City, and I'm here in my dorm room and about to re-record my last Kosha lecture because the last one just went awry at the last minute. What I want to say today about the koshas is I want to establish something about their ontological nature, their anatomical nature, and I want to establish something about how we work with them to use the understanding of the structure of the koshas to refine our attention and to refine our health, refine our energy and our mental capacities, our willful capacities, and our loving capacities, as well as our physical body. So we know that there are 5 koshas. There is the Annamaya kosha, which is the physical body, the one that we know from medical science, the one it's called the Stula Sarira from the tradition of yoga, the gross body. It is fed by food. Then we have the Pranamaya kosha, which is fed by prana, mainly in the form of air. It is the energy body, how much energy a person radiates. And then we have the Vijnanamaya kosha, which is higher knowing, or what we identify with will, with the capacity to have intentions, have refined intentions, higher intentions, and then to execute those intentions. And then we have the Anandamaya kosha, which is the bliss body or love body, which is reflected in the capacity to love, the capacity to forgive, the capacity to have compassion and to use discernment in the midst of our compassion and to not be attached in the things that we love. So that's a little quick rundown on the koshas and how they manifest different capacities in the personality. The koshas themselves are more and more refined forms of pranic energy, and they coexist in the same physical space. So to draw an analogy of that, I can say that this body that I have here is a body of cells, or I can say it's a body of protoplasm, or I can say it's a body of molecules, or I can say it's a body of atoms, or I can say it's a body of neutrons, protons, and electrons. But any one of those statements would not change the geographical location of my body. They all inhabit the exact same space. It's the same is true with the koshas. We often see them illustrated in terms of larger and larger kind of sheaths or shells around a physical silhouette of a body. But in fact, and they do actually radiate as they get more and more refined, because that tends to be true with more and more subtle energy. And it's even said that a great saint, the Anandamaya kosha of a great saint, radiates for miles because their love body is so powerful and one can feel them for miles away. But they inhabit the same physical space. They only inhabit it at a more and more refined level. It's almost like the shells of a Russian doll. One thing is inside each other thing, just like my cells are inside this body, and the protoplasm is inside the cells, and the molecules are inside the protoplasm, etc., etc., etc. So that helps us understand the physical structure of the koshas. And now I want to talk about a little bit how we work to refine each kosha. How we work with the physical body is pretty well known to us. We know that we work with yoga, we get fresh air, we get good water, and we eat properly. And the focus around the Annamaya kosha is to focus specifically on food, that particular modality of maintaining the body in a healthy way. So working with the Anna is to eat healthy, is to eat perhaps slowly, to eat with prayer, to eat the proper time, to fast from food when it's appropriate. These are things that we do to keep the physical body in a pure form. We work with food in an intelligent way. The prana, Maya kosha, the pranic body, of course, works with air, works with prana. So pranayama, from the yogic perspective, is the main means in which we refine the energetic body. We make our energy radiate more powerfully. We work with holding the breath. We work with speeding the breath. We work with slowing the breath. We work with intensifying the flow of the breath. We work with modulating the breath, breathing through opposite nostrils, or manipulating the tongue in certain ways to move breath through the body in a cooler way or a more heating way. So there's a whole range of huge pranayamas. It's a vast science, and there's a lot of understanding of the way it works to modify our nervous system, because the pranic body is very much related to the nervous system. And that is the approach through the food of prana for the pranic body that we work to refine the pranamaya kosha. The next body out is the manomaya kosha. And so that is the body, of course, of mind. So with just a little reflection, you can realize that the way that you're going to work carefully with mind is to enrich the intellect. You're going to give it more information, or give it proper information, healthy information. To go out and watch a horror movie would probably be bad information and would poison the manomaya kosha. Or to do certain drugs which disturb the mind, or to encounter traumatic experiences which disturb the mind. So the intellect needs to work with things like psychology, or it needs to work with enriching its understanding of the world, enriching the understanding of the things it's encountered, so the analytical faculty of the mind can work efficiently. There's certain mind games we can do. There's certain programs you can do with apps nowadays to make your mind sharper. Certain practices and certain types of information. And then there's also, of course, the act of stepping away from mentation altogether by sleep, or by meditation, or just by taking a fast from social media or the news. Many ways to refine the manomaya kosha. The next body, of course, is the vijnanamaya kosha, which is identified with will. So there is a whole science of intention setting. There is a whole science of how we step through a process to achieve a certain goal. We see a lot of this in modern American philosophies of self-help. So working with the will, solidifying the will, testing the will, speaking with your own voice, from Vishuddha, from the chakra at the throat. These are exercises in making the will body, the vijnanamaya kosha, stronger. And just like we might fast from air with kumbhaka, with the holding of the breath, with the working of pranayama, or we might fast from food with a fast of some set of days, we also have the possibility to fast from will. We can let go of our will. We can submit to a guru. We can submit to a process. We can join the Navy or the Army or something where we have to abide by a very powerful set of rules. We do that even today in modern business. That surrendering of the activity of the will can also be healthy for the will. It seems like a little bit of a contradiction, but we use discernment in letting the will go and in engaging the will. Got about a minute and a half left. I'll do the next two bodies. So the last body, I should say. So Anandamaya kosha, of course, is the bliss body, and it is fed by the activity of love, enhancing, as it were, the muscle of love, and applying the activity of love intelligently, which means to not be grasping, which means to be generous, which means to apply love in a broad way to even the unlovable, to be generous, to give of your money and time, to give of things that you are grasping of, like maybe food from your plate, whatever it is that you feel an over-attachment to pray, and to pause before you eat. These things also enhance the will body as well as enhancing the annamaya kosha, the food body. So all of these things we do to cultivate compassion and love in our lives. Religion is often a big part of that practice, or certain moral principles. Those things enhance the love body and make it stronger. I'm a bit out of time here. Namaste. Thank you for listening carefully. I'm sorry this video comes a little bit late.